Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for tarot scopes again. We're going to be doing the tarot scopes for the sign of Capricorn. That's Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Rising. Now, for October 2024, let's be clear. So, back at the beginning of the year, I was doing these along with charts for the specific signs. And while a lot of people enjoyed it and I enjoyed doing it, it did take a lot of time. And so I got very busy, which I was grateful for, but it did sort of eat into the time I could spend on tarot scopes. But because we're in such a interesting time in our evolution, as we face October, I thought this would be a good time to go over some things with the chart. So I'm going to be doing the astrology first, and then the reading with the cards. And if you're not all that interested in astrology, I am time stamping it. So you can just below, you'll find that below, click on it, and it'll take you right to the tarot reading. So whatever your pleasure is, astrology or tarot or both, you have the opportunity to enjoy them in this video. So let's get cracking, as they say in chiropractic. For those of you who may be new to the channel and may not know, I am actually a chiropractor, and I have my Saturn in Capricorn, so it kind of lines up pretty well. It aligns well. Anyway, back to Capricorn. So, of course, Capricorn is a Saturn-ruled sign. Saturn is in Pisces, retrograde actually in Pisces, and it is in your third house of your mind. So with Pisces and Saturn and Pisces in your third house, you could be feeling a little bit more confused than you're used to. But Saturn is a tester, and it will test our dreams. It will test our idealism. And so it does sort of challenge. There can be some issues with siblings at this time for Capricorns. But Neptune has been in there for going on now 13 years, I believe. So you've had there's been a subtle shift in that house anyway, and Saturn sort of brings it all home. So if things have been sort of, I would say, hummulating is probably the right word, for years, as Saturn moves through there, it becomes real, and you get to resolve it. Of course, Saturn has been in Pisces now for 2 years, or a year and a half. So this is not news to you, actually. We do have a couple of specific things happening this month. We have a number of sign changes. We have the Sun, which starts the month in Libra, changing into the Sun in Scorpio, which of course happens all the time. We have Mercury moving from Libra to Scorpio this month. And I believe that's all the sign changes, but we do have 2 planetary stations. That means the planet is apparently standing still in the sky. When that happens, it brings a lot of power to that planet. The first one I want to talk about is, and we also have we start the month with an eclipse, but I'll talk about that after the planetary stations. The first planetary station is Jupiter stationing retrograde at 22 degrees of Gemini. Jupiter's been in Gemini since the end of May and sort of been flying through Gemini. Jupiter in Gemini has been in your house of work and service, also your house of health. Jupiter expands things, and in Gemini expands information. So you might actually have been getting an inundation of information, either in your work life, or maybe you mentor, or maybe you're a student. Maybe you've had a lot of information in your work in that way. It's also health, so you could be getting information on your health. Maybe you did a DNA test. You did one of those DNA tests that test you for certain predilections to different diseases, or diseases, as we like to say in chiropractic. And so as Jupiter stations and then goes retrograde, you have an opportunity to look over a lot of the information that has come in over the last couple of months. And maybe a deeper understanding of things, including perhaps your place in the world, because the sixth house is the house of service and world service at that. We also have Pluto stationing. Ah, yes, your friend Pluto, who snuck back into your sign in September 1st, snuck back into Capricorn to sit there for 2.5 months. Now it's been going retrograde since that time. Well, it's been going retrograde since before that time, but certainly retrograde through Capricorn. But that this whole time it's staying in that last degree of Capricorn. So it is the period at the end of a 16-year long sentence for you guys. Moving through your first house, of course, Capricorn. And so you have transformed your sense of identity, your purpose, and also the way that you go about doing things. You know, the first house is the natural house for Mars. And so it affects that. It affects the way you go about expressing your energy. Maybe you're running into less walls than you used to. Maybe you are freeing your energy when it was held back before. But all of this has been a process, and a 16-year process at that. Well, now Pluto is going direct and will be leaving your sign for good, pretty much, because it's not going to be back for another 220-something years. It'll be a different lifetime. And, maybe we'll be so evolved that we remember the last lifetime and we won't do that again, right? But we'll see. So this is really it, guys. It's really going to move out and then move back into your second house, where it's spending about 19 years. And you'll be working with your resources, your resourcefulness, and your sense of self-worth as Pluto moves through that place in your chart. All right, let's talk about the eclipses. We have one eclipse this month. It is a new moon solar eclipse in Libra. It's in your 10th house of public standing. This can be a change in your public standing. You go from being defined as one thing to being defined as something else. The Libra, it is a new moon, so it's an opportunity for new beginnings, but something must be released before I think that opportunity can come into full force. And I say that because the eclipse is a South Node eclipse, and the South Node eclipse always requires some sort of letting go, I think, before we can start something new. But it can be happening simultaneously, and it could be, about your relationship to power, your relationship to somebody who has more power than you, or seemingly has more power than you, more pull, more influence over your life. And so you may see that happen. We also have a full moon in Aries that's happening in your 4th house. The full moon is a sort of a full a releasing, and Aries is fire, so there's a lot of passion in this moon, and this moon is actually conjunct Eris, the goddess of discord. That's all happening in your home life, so there may be continued discord. It might be part of this whole process of finally standing up for yourself in a way that you haven't been able to stand up for yourself before. As far as other things going on, Mars, the planet of energy, is in Cancer. This is in your 6th house, your 7th house. Your 7th house is your house of relationship, can be marriage. It's one-to-one relationships. It can be open enemies as well. With Mars there's a lot of energy, and it's in Cancer, so there's a lot of emotion. I would say that this is a very, very emotional month for you, Capricorn. And Capricorns, for the most part, tend to repress their emotions because there's too much work to be done. But with Pluto going through your sign for 16 years, I think a lot of that repressed emotion has been released. And you're freer now than you've ever been to feel the feelings and act on them. So, but it is going to be an intense month for everybody. But, that fond farewell to Pluto is like, sometimes when you lose the devil that you're a little at sea. but you'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about I'm not too worried about my Capricorns out there. You guys are resilient and wise. All right, what else? What else? What else? Venus, the planet of love, starts in your 11th house while it's in Scorpio, and then it moves into, I mean, while it's, I'm sorry, yes, while it's in Scorpio, and then it moves into Sag the same day as the full moon, which is the 17th of October, and moving through that 12th house. Venus likes being in the 12th house. It's like old friends that come back to you, and it could be old spiritual guides and the like. The 12th house is the house of the veil, and so things are thinner, and it's like old home week in your head kind of thing. And I think that's what all I want to say about that. Let's see, is Saturn. Oh, well, yeah, no. I was going to say something about Saturn. There is something going on with Saturn. Let me just take a look, because Saturn is your ruling planet. And seeing as it's your ruling planet, usually there's some sort of, there's an increased energy for you in that aspect. And I believe there was, but I don't see it here now. Let's see, Saturn. Saturn. Nope. Let me look over here. No, Venus, Mercury. Okay, no. Actually, right before the end, right at the last, okay, so yeah, there is something with Saturn. The last day of September. So we're talking about October, but of course, the last day of September, we had a trine between Mars and Saturn, Mars in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces. That's a flow of energy going from your third house to um, your third house. So you're starting the month with this flow of energy between your third house and your seventh house. This is relating, I think, to your siblings or your neighbors. So that is something. And of course, we're dealing with this watery energy. It could be emotions and feelings, or it could actually be water. Somehow water can bring you together with your neighbors. So hopefully that's not a disaster, because it's been raining a lot in certain places. So just be careful. Pay attention to the weather. All of this water will have significance in the weather. And so if you live in an environment that's prone to a certain type of weather problem, definitely be prepared for that. All right, that's what I see. Next will be the Taroscope. I hope you enjoy that as well. I will see you next month for the Taroscopes for November. It's going to be an intense month, so take care of yourself, okay? Much love, everyone. I'll see you again next month. Take care. All right, so now it's time for the tarot reading. We're going to be using the AstroMatrix Tarot deck, one of my new favorites. They're all my favorites. It's like picking a child. Who's your favorite child? You like them all, but sometimes you spend more time with others than one than the other, right? So this is for the sign of Capricorn, and of course, um, we have Pluto back in your sign, Capricorn. We know that. We talked about that. And of course, Pluto, the planet of transformation, in that last degree of Capricorns, especially if you're a last degree of Capricorn person, or you have a prominent planet in that last degree of Capricorn. It is a pretty significant time for you. It's sort of the period at the end of a very long sentence, and that the sentence began with transformation and went through it's like a sentence that is transformation, period. Right? So, all right, let's see what the cards have to say about this month for you. Of course, the sun in Libra is, another cardinal energy. So this is for you, your fourth house. So The fourth house is being the house of soul. All right. Just one more shuffle, I think. I'm going to make sure I get good juju. We got to give you a good reading. Now, of course, Pluto won't be back in Capricorn for another 200 and some odd years, so we don't have to worry about that. Probably nobody alive today has to worry about that unless, we come up with some grand technology. Okay, let's see. We start with the Two of Cups. This is about relationship. So you're in a relationship or you're seeking for a relationship, but this is your relationship based on trust, based on a common understanding. You can see that these two people have their own cup and they can share their cup with the other person, but they're not sharing one cup. And so this really does speak to sharing a give and take, an emotional give and take. We also see the caduceus here, which is symbolic of the rising of the Kundalini and love at a higher vibration. So this is sort of compassion and mutual respect. So that's the kind of relationship you either are in or are seeking out. Let's see the challenge for that. We have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is something is secret, perhaps something that you information, secrets. There's something that you don't know at this time concerning this relationship, perhaps. It has yet to be revealed. Because it's the crossing card, I'd say it has yet to be revealed. Okay, let's see what's underneath it. We have the Page of Swords. There is a situation. You do have to watch your back here. There may be somebody who doesn't have doesn't have the purest of intentions. And it may be out of an inexperience. The pages are generally an inexperienced person, somebody who thinks they're doing the right thing, perhaps, but may not be. It can also be having to keep your ear to the ground, but ear to the winds, right? You want to pay attention. Yeah, so there's a relationship I think that you're in. It could be love, it could just be relationship, half and half. Business could be business. But the cards are giving you a bit of a warning. You want to keep your ears open. You want to keep your ears open. In the past, we have the Three of Cups. So there was celebration, happiness, camaraderie. There's some camaraderie here. That the Three of Cups can also be excess. So this could be, a party that you had a little bit too much fun with in the sky. We have the Tower. So there's an awakening. Something is going to be revealed, and it's going to be disruptive. Now, the thing about the tower, sorry, in the sky, is that a lot of times it's the environment around you or sort of above you. And, generally what I'll say is you can reach up for it if you want or not, but it is the environment. So, but to me, it feels more like a worldly environment, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe not as directly associated with you, but there is that general energy within the zeitgeist, we'll call it. Okay, let's see what's in your immediate future. Okay, the sun. Okay, so we have illumination. We have illumination. So this makes me feel better, actually. Now, illumination isn't always pleasant, but the sun is the most positive card in the deck. So to me, it feels like whatever, if there's a danger, you will be protected from it. If there's a danger, you will be protected from it. Okay. How it's seen from the outside. Four of Wands, victory. This is not victory, a party, celebration, a lot of celebrating. There's a lot of celebrating around you, Capricorn. So whatever is going on, people are happy to see it for you. Your domestic situation, temperance. All right, so you need to temper some of your actions. Maybe you're doing too much of something. This is a initiation card. It's a healing card, but it is healing that you have to attend to. It's not always easy, tempering yourself, but it's bringing things into balance. It's bringing things into balance. So if there's been an imbalance in your domestic situation, this says you need to find a balance within that, right? You need to um, move in the direction of balance. Hopes and fears. Oh, heartbreak. Yeah. Heartbreak. I imagine you don't hope for this, but perhaps you fear it, the fear of loss. You know, the Three of Swords is a loss card, but it's a loss that frees you to be in a different place. It comes in as a like a third energy that disrupts the balance of two. And even though it's a painful experience sometimes, it ultimately is a freeing experience. Oh, and the outcome is happiness. So in the end, you're going to be fine. In the end, you have happiness and joy and blessings. I mean, this is as blessing as you get, right? All right, let's see what else. See if we can get a major arcana. The Eight of Swords. Feel my cat is outside the door howling at me because Charlie wants to come in. So you need to utilize your intuition. You are just about out of danger here, whatever that might mean for you. A stalemate or a balance, that could also be a balance. And information coming in. So what this really says to me is that the information is going to break the stalemate, whatever that means. Okay, but it seems like the information coming in is disruptive in nature, but ultimately illuminating and for your best intention, so to speak. Okay, underneath it, the Ten of Swords, that's an ending. The Eight of Cups, that's turning your back on something that's no longer fulfilling. And the Queen of Pentacles, you're going to be fine financially. You know, this is about understanding your own value and the value of things around you. Okay. So even though this may seem disruptive, and this is really the only finance card that came up. So you may have to leave a situation because of this, and you feel as though you're not going to be okay financially. That might be, you might be happy, but then you're taking a loss in other ways. But this Queen of Pentacles says you're going to be fine. All right. Well, wow, that was quite a reading. All right. So I'm going to go get my cat, and then we're going to do some we're going to do some we're going to do the Mystic Sisters, and we're going to do the Tree of Life Oracle. Let me just go take care of Charlie for a second. All right, so we're going to pick a Mystic Sister Oracle card first, and then we'll do the Tree of Life Oracle. So what does Capricorn need to be aware of? Further information on this reading. Here, Charlie. What? All right, let me pick a card. Yes, I know. Mystic Sisters, what do you have to say for Capricorn? Oh, there it is. Amunet. Amunet. Oh, isn't that beautiful? All right, I will hold this. I will hold this up while I read. I haven't gotten this card before, so let's see what Amunet says. Hidden meanings, deceit. Ooh, kind of goes along with what the card said, right? Somebody's looking to deceive you, perhaps. Amunet. All right, I'll hold it up and read it, and that way you can enjoy the art. This deck is based by Emily Balavet. She is the artist, so, and I love her. I love her work. There we go. That's beautiful. Okay, Amulet. Amunet. Amunet is a goddess of mystery whose name means the hidden one. She symbolizes the subconscious mind or the shadow self. Drawing this card indicates something has been obscuring your vision and you are unable to see the whole picture clearly. You may feel that you are stumbling in the dark and that nothing is going as you planned. You may feel deficient in strength you've known yourself to possess. At times like this, it is often best to simply be still and try to recollect yourself or recollect yourself. It is time to pause, review the direction you are heading, and try to understand where you are on your path presently. Optimism is an important virtue, but now it is time to take the blinders off and regain a full view. Our own perception of our circumstances can sometimes be deceptive. That's very interesting because the crossing card, right, was the High Priestess, which is about something being hidden. So there is a relationship in your life where you don't have all the facts. And I think perhaps it's based on perhaps a misguided trust in the other person. The other person really isn't mature enough to be the type of person that you deserve to have in your life. That's what it feels like to me. All right, let's see what the Tree of Life says. Tree of Life Oracle. I just had the cat up here and now I have cat hair all over my face. Luckily, I was kissing him. Luckily, I'm not allergic. Hey, Charlie. I'd be in big trouble. I was allergic to that, Mama Lou. All right. Tree of Life, Tree of Life. Give me some information, some advice for Capricorn. For Capricorn. You're a beautiful boy, Charlie. I don't know what sign Charlie is. I have some papers on him. He was a rescue, but I do have papers on him, so there might be a date of birth. Let's check that. The 32nd path, world, universe, independence, facing fears, and self-discipline. So on the Tree of Life, this sits right here. That's the path right there between Yesod and Malkuth. And it's connected to giving birth to something. Giving birth to something. It's actually a Saturn energy, and Saturn is in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces, the end of a cycle, right? So there's an end of a cycle here. All right, let's see what the card says here. 32nd path. This is, I believe, the administrative intelligence. I wonder if it has the names of the path here. Independence, facing fears, and self-discipline. Let's see if it has the name of the path. It is the administrative intelligence. I know that for a fact. Okay. The path runs between Malkuth and Yesod and is Saturn in astrology. Saturn brings limitations, but they aren't stop signs. They're pace setters. Here on Earth, creation takes longer than we'd like, but taking heed of the restrictions and applying yourself will bring a way to manifest your goals. Persephone, Queen of the Dead, visits Hades every 6 months and spends the other 6 months with her mother Demeter, illustrating the balance between flow and restriction, night and day, and the turning of the seasons. This is the gateway between the earthly world and the astral. Everything must pass through this door, whether it is being born or returning. Here you will begin to awaken to your higher self, but there will be no instant gratification in a situation you find yourself in. It will most likely take some time for the answers and reasons to come to you. Still, the difficult question should be asked. Feel the fear and do it anyway could have been written for this path. Or did the path inform the idea? When you name a fear, call it out and turn and look at it, it no longer has any power over you. And so is with the energy of the moment. Self-discipline will bring results right now, as well as focus on what you want, common sense approach to make things happen, and structured steps forward. If things aren't where you want them to be, ask what you can do today to help bring them into line. Just one small shift, one small thing. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, hopefully that helps you navigate this month ahead. We are in very intense times. We are still in eclipse season as we start the month. So, and of course, we've been through quite the ringer over the last couple of months. So this is really no surprise, is it? All right. Have yourself a wonderful month of October. Know that ultimately, illumination and healing is here for you, and you'll be better off because of it. Take care, everyone. I'll see you again next month. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and I do these every month, and hopefully I'll see you next month. Take care, everyone. Namaste.